Hello, welcome to Kahanis Golden Bytes once again. And this is a series of where I'm going to be covering financial topics for non-finance people. So background being non-finance. Terms, concepts, topics, trying to make them simple. List, as I always share, is not exhaustive. Some examples are only given. Okay. What are we going to cover today? I'm going to cover retirement fund. Now, for those who are in your 20s and 30s, just stay around and see what I'm going to share. It's not just for old people. Wait and see. So this is a couple of charts from across the world. Life expectancy, which is really how long one should be living on an average. So what this shows is across the world and in India, life is just becoming, we're living longer and longer. If you see India itself, average has gone from below 50 in the rural areas to almost 65, and for urban to almost 70. So that's a big jump, big jump. And this is just an average. So which means there are people who are living to their 80s, 90s, and we also read about hundreds, right? So that's what we got to plan for. So longer lives. But here's the more relevant thing from this topic: the longer we live, we run the risk of running out of money. Running out of money. The journey to retirement, how do we plan for it? There are various ways. I'm just going to highlight some aspects of it. The choice and the route will be all different for each of you. Okay, let's see. Now, before I get into that, it's important for me to share with you all and get us all on the same page in terms of how the landscape is changing, how things are changing. The economy is growing. There'll be some years, yes, every country in the world is going to take a beating. There'll be periods of time, just not a particular year. But overall, it's going to keep on changing. See the way our parents lived and see the way we are living. Our standard of living, etc., has just got changed because of the economy growth. Industries are changing so fast, so much. New industries are coming into play. The automobile sector, they already talk electrical vehicles. Just see what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years. There's going to be huge changes across various industries. What that means is jobs are less certain. Government is changing its laws. Not this government, but all governments have always changed laws, okay, to somewhere the labor, the employee gets more benefits, somewhere the employers or the industries get more benefits. So that's going to always carry on. The pension rules, etc., which take care of our old age, monies, that keeps on changing. That's going to keep on changing. A lot of things that applied just to the developed world now has been applying to India since a long time. For example, one or two generations back, nobody ever took, not even 2 generations back, people didn't take a loan for anything but a house. Consumer durables, today even people take, and you can get loans for travel. Unthinkable earlier. So things are changing. Nuclear families are coming up. It'll keep changing with new cities coming into play because the new city has its own challenges with new opportunities coming our way. I recall many years ago when I was not even married, I recall a conversation I had with someone who had come from London, and he was younger to me and in his early 20s. While we were speaking about various things and investments, he said something which shocked me initially, and I asked him again. And I started laughing because I wasn't sure I was hearing right. He was parking money, he was keeping a little money for his retirement. Okay, and he was an Indian. Okay, he wasn't a foreigner. And I was surprised, saying, "You're not even married, you're just in your early 20s," but he was serious. He says, "Yes, I have to look after myself. I know that." Now, India is very different societally, but I'm just going to be covering some topics which most of you will agree, and in that case, we're all in for a surprise. So, hence, let's be better prepared. Okay, so I've already spoken. A lot of policies from across the world, etc., are going to come to us. We will be exporting a lot of our good policies, etc., to across the world. So it's all getting integrated. We're not going to be young forever. That's a fact, right? Fact of life. Now, what's going to be the trigger point? The trigger point that is going to make you change. Something is going to snap somewhere in your life. Is it going to be your age? when you reach a certain age, suddenly something will snap you. Will it be a boost in income or a loss in income? Will it be something that's happened to somebody you know, your friend? You overhear a conversation. I don't know. Maybe it's a job change that is there. You go to a new city, a new culture. People are talking different, and something has to be triggering. Maybe you go to a conference. Some conversation you overhear. You may not even be part of it. The family may reorient. One of the parent may have an excellent retirement plan, and you will say, wow, that's something. Or they may not have a good plan, and you may actually decide, no, I must have it whatever happens. So there will be some trigger point. The earlier the better. And don't expect life to be fair. Okay, I hope it is, but it is not. So what do you do now? What are chances are, as you retire, okay, even if you're in your 20s and 30s, as you retire, your children should be starting off their lives. What does that mean? Their jobs will be irregular. They'll be trying to stand on their own feet. They'll be trying to see which career to take, whether to study. They just married. They married early. They're going to be all kinds of challenges that they're going to be facing themselves. And to expect them to be saying, no, you have to take care of me, that even though if they want to, it may not be possible. So isn't it better to be prepared? Even if they want to, they may not be. So the future, the older generation will increasingly need to look after themselves more and more. And yes, and I've said that before, you may be just starting your career, and here I'm asking you to think of retirement. Watch my other video clips where I talk about savings and other concepts. It's critical. These are all interlinked. These are not separate from itself. Okay, but it's all to do with the mindset, as I share in some of them. But what's important is to plan and to act. The train is coming. Okay, we're all going to age. So what do? We step aside, we take the overbridge, we jump aside, walk very calmly. Yes, the better prepared you are, the better we will have a retirement life. Now I need to touch upon another aspect, which is inflation. It's very, very important that I have to touch upon. First thing is, you have to track your expenses. What's your present age? And I've covered it in my other clips too. There are different ways of tracking expenses, and how do you go about it. Now, whatever be your age, whether in your 40s, 30s, or 20s, you have your present age. Okay, you take that down. You have to see your current situation, your current expenses. Are you married? Are you not married? Those situations will all be different. You have a child, not yet having a child, you have your home, but your present situation. Okay. Now, inflation for India, it varies from country to country, but for India, the average percentage for calculation purposes used as 8%. What does that mean? If your current expenses is a certain amount, next year you can expect your average expenses to increase by 8%. That's the cost. That's the inflation impact, because something or the other will go up. Something will go up, something will come down. Data charges come down, food may go up. Food may remain stable, your consumer durables go up. So these things will keep happening, something or the other. But over a period of time, on an average for calculation purposes, 8% is a good point to start with, and that's what's used for calculations usually in India. Okay, so what does that mean? So if your current age is 30 or 25, at the age of 60, if that's what you want to take your retirement age to be, and I will tell you that's probably not wise, simply because you've seen in the last few years, people in their 50s have started to retire, and more recently, you can hear in their 40s are retiring. Some out of because they don't have a choice, some because industries have disrupted, etc., etc. Some may have planned, very few plan at that age, but plenty of them do. The good planners do. You can retire at that age too, but only if you plan. So if you're at the age of 25 to 30, calculate till 60 at 8% inflation, your current whatever amount you reach at when you're 60, that's the amount that you will need to live your current standard of living, to meet your current standard of living expenses. When I was doing my MBA many decades ago, there's a computer, let me just try it, use MS Excel, and I said, let's have some fun. When I reached the figure, I said, there's something wrong with the formula, because the amount I reached was so scary When I calculated it, it was all perfect, and I got scared. I said, it is impossible that I can save so much to be able to just survive or live my current expense at the age of 60. I said, it's impossible. But you know what I did? I just shut down the computer. I said, जीना तो डर डर के नहीं जीना, मस्ती से जियो. Because it was shock. I said, it's impossible. I shut it down, forgot about it. But when I calmed down a little bit, the panic disappeared. I came down, looked at the numbers, and everything has to do with planning. You have to, you can't do anything about it. Only if you plan can you act. And which means you have to review and re-budget all the time. Standard of living is going to change. You'll have a new, every few years, you'll have a new situation. So that has to keep on being readjusted. The expenses basket when you're younger, food and travel takes more of the amount. Medical expenses much lesser. As you go up, age, your medical expenses just go up. The percentage just changes. The inflation calculation will help you take that. Possible scenarios. Now let's just take the example as I always try and use for simplicity. 1,000 rupees. This is per month at 5% interest if you were to put aside. If you're 25 years till the age of 60, 35 years, so that's 1,000 into 12, which is for 1 year, into 35 years. So 4 lakh 20,000 is what you put aside just for retirement fund. Okay, just for retirement fund. At the age of 60, it comes to 11 lakh 81,000. Now at the age of 60, the idea is not to take this 11 lakh 81,000 and go and spend it and have fun. No, this is kept for your retirement money, your day-to-day living. Okay, I'm not saying this will be enough for you. Everybody's standard of living is different, etc. It may certainly not be enough for you, but just trying to highlight the amount and the calculation. Okay, now if you were to keep that money 11 lakh 81,183 in the bank at a 5% interest, in a month you would earn 4,922 per month. So when you were putting in money, started to put in money at the age of 25, you're putting 1,000 rupees per month, and now you're getting almost 5 times that per month. Okay, but it requires long terms of investing. At a higher return, you'll get much more money. Okay, so you can actually plan to, if you invested, you can also get higher amounts. Next scenario possible if it's at 7% interest that you're earning. So 4 lakh 20,000 again. Okay, it instead of the previous 11 lakh, approximate amount. Okay, that was 11 lakh 81,000. It's 18 lakhs here. So just the interest rate. This is just for calculations. Okay, and at 5%, you can see that you're earning a much higher amount. What I'm also trying to say is you're not going to stick to this amount as your income grows, as your standard of living becomes better because of higher income, as you get promotions, as you earn more money, you should put aside more. Okay, so as you can see in this calculation, what you've almost contributed for a full year, you're almost getting it every month. Depends how you go about it. All depends on you. Most important, tracking of expenses. There are going to be many changes over your lifetime, many changes, but the key is really tracking of expenses. If you don't do that, you will be lost. This is a good thing, and you could read books and you could listen to lectures, go for seminars, but if you don't do this, and you'll find different ways of doing this in my other clips, one of them being savings. That's the only way to go about it. I hear very often by many people saying, पता ही नहीं चलता पैसे कहाँ निकल जाते हैं. You will keep saying that for the rest of your life if you do not track your expenses. Now, just ask yourself any of these questions. Was it informative? Did you learn something different, something new? Perspective? Do you think at some stage of your life this could be useful to you? Do you think that somebody else could benefit from this? And subscribe, see my other videos too. And if there's anything that you'd like me to cover in a different topic, different video, please put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to take a look at it and cover it if I'm sooner than later. And for all your time, thank you very much for staying here, and I wish you, as always, plenty of money, plenty of wealth, plenty of happiness. Thank you.